Put out an opinion.
Defiance is the root of Telangana, but that is something is being suppressed.
This fellow has a knack of, if there is a public opinion, he will agree. Then after one
And by
month he
this
will
fellow,
forget. He will
you
forget.
mean the Chief Minister?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
just to be clear.
So, and he is the government.
I am
So-
the ruler.
When a political party, a political leader, even if it's the president of the opposition party, plans to hold a protest against KCR or his party, his government, they're put under house arrest. This is so much of a norm. So when some of us from outside come here to report, and we were startled.
The legendary singer, Gaddar, he wants to give a memorandum to him. He was not allowed inside. Actually, his song is one of the greatest inspiration for Telangana movement. He just neglected it. And what he will do, nobody knows inside.
KCR using neglected Gaddar?
हाँ.
Wow, because he's an icon.
यहाँ पर ये जो है ये डिक्टेटर है। केसीआर जो है डिक्टेटर है, उन्होंने क्या समझते वही करते, जो पब्लिक पूछते वो नहीं करते।
Especially when it comes to women education, we were 26th place in 30 states in 2015. Now we are in the 30th place. There is no more place to go down. If school is closed down, the first person being affected is a girl. If there was no school in our village, I could never go to a school, right? My mother, my grandmother couldn't go to school because there was no school.
Cash incentives are important in a country like India, but I think it can't just stop at that. And I think most political parties, not just BRS, they keep tom-tomming their cash incentives, their direct benefits.
Yeah.
But then where is that institutional outlay for key infrastructures?
In 10 places, BJP has taken responsibility of winning BRS candidates.
So they
Not-
prefer a BRS than let a Congress come.
Of course, yeah, because of Lok Sabha elections, they do not want another Congress state. So
Also,
yeah,
my enemy's enemy is my friend logic being applied.
yeah.
Welcome to another election show. This is our last episode of this election season, and we're recording from the beautiful city of Hyderabad. As someone from Delhi, I'm very ecstatic to breathe clean air here. The AQI is 60, I checked in the morning, and it's been raining for the past 2 days, so it's been really great. The pink I'm wearing is just incidental. I don't support the BRS. We are going to neutrally discuss everything that's been happening this election. And I have with me our colleague from the News Minute, Pooja Prasanna. News Minute and Newslaundry have covered these elections together. I really hope you've been watching our shows, our reports on our websites and our YouTube channels. They've done some spectacular work from Telangana. And we have a great lineup, a great panel that is going to give us a lot of insights into this election, and Pooja is going to quickly introduce them. But before that, I just want to ask you, Pooja, the last time we met, we were in Karnataka, and you've covered Karnataka elections and you've been steeped in Telangana politics for the past 2 months at least. Quickly, what's the difference and similarity between the two state elections?
I'll start with similarity. I think the Congress's guarantees what they promised in Karnataka and probably won on its back. They have repeated that here, some of them at least. There were 5, there 6 guarantees here. Differences, I'd say, one, I don't see Hindutva taking the center stage here as much as it did in Karnataka. The BJP is not as strong here. The second difference I see is the presence of a very strong regional party, which has been in power the last 2 terms and is positioned quite well this time. I think these are the two. And of course, there are a plethora of issues which we will discuss in detail over the next few minutes. We'll start with introducing the guests.
Yes.
On to our extreme left is C Vanaja. She is a very senior woman journalist who's worked in Telangana and the United Andhra Pradesh for decades now. In 2005, she won the Ramnath Goenka for her story on a parallel government that was being run in Dandakaranya. She's also an independent filmmaker. She makes documentaries. And if you are from any of the 2 Telugu states, you'll know her because she's constantly, talking in one or the other Telugu channel, and she's a panelist on several of them. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much.
And next to her is somebody many people here know as Sky Baba. We will get to why he's called that in a while. There's an interesting story there. Sheikh Yusuf Baba is his name. He is a writer, he is an activist, and he's also been working on a whole host of issues in Telangana, but we'll focus on, the minority votes here because he has spoken to them, and it's a very central issue, this election. And to my right is Professor Laxminarayana, and he's also a very familiar face here in Hyderabad and across Telangana. His area of interest is agriculture economics as well as education economics. And he's a professor, he teaches in the University of Hyderabad. He has a whole lot of data as well that we can talk about, I'm hoping, over the next few minutes. Manisha, let's start.
Yeah, actually, I want to start with Vanaja. You've covered the state, and this is a special state because you've had BRS, TRS, I guess that's what they're more popularly known as, in power for the past 10 years. And this is a party that was created with a specific mandate for Telangana, for uniform development, for the people of Telangana who felt that they were always ignored, in United Andhra Pradesh. So how would you rate their performance over the last 10 years, and have they achieved this goal of uniform development for everyone here?
When it comes to Telangana, separate Telangana, yes, you said it right. They've been ignored for a long time in United States. It's not only economic development, it's cultural also. But after the statehood is formed, it's not that, there is some development, definitely development in front of the economic development. But when it comes to cultural development, they have confined to certain cultural symbols, and they're saying that is Telangana culture. Not really. They didn't go deep into Telangana culture actually. See, Telangana being part of the South India, we have a special identity. Most of us were part of separate state movement. We were part of it. We were there, I think all of us here. So we were all together in most of the times. We were all talking something. Like, we need to bring out the identity of Telangana. We were all talking about idea of Telangana, which is completely different from what TRS or BRS, is propagating after the state is formed. So
if you can specifically tell our audience, like, what is the difference as somebody who was part of the movement?
Right. It's not very strong that we are part of Dravidian, clown, but still some of us, we thought, we should go back to that area. And especially Telangana is known for their, movements all the time. They're always, politically very active. There are so many movements in the last 50, 60 years. There are so many movements in Telangana, so many, like, from Naxalite movement to different movements. So this is a very, very politicized people. But once Telangana came into power, it's like either they go with the government, by praising the government, or not talk about it. Not talking about is something, defiance, what I call, according to me, and most of us, like Laxminarayana garu, me, most of us, the character of Telangana is defiance from the beginning. If you go back to, roots from Palkurki Somanadru to till, defiance is the, root of Telangana. But that is something is being suppressed.
So that defiance as the very character of Telangana, you think is being suppressed by the current government, and we'd love to go deep into that, and we'll come back to you on that. But I just want to ask, like, one thing that we heard during our short time here, a lot of students complained that development can't just be Hyderabad. That the rest of the districts are being ignored. Would you agree with that assessment?
When it comes to, when it comes to development, again, the same thing is happening. Even in Andhra Pradesh, most of the development was centered in Hyderabad. Even after Telangana formed, most of the development is, centered in Hyderabad. And Hyderabad is growing so bigger, now entire Telangana is coming into Hyderabad. If you go to villages, there isn't much. Except, what government is giving, there are no really livelihood opportunities in the villages right now. So that is the issue. Of course, this government is also, mostly focusing on Hyderabad. Yes, districts are being ignored. The only development they are saying is water. You know, they brought water to every village, but that is also again debatable.
Correct. We will get to Kaleshwaram.
Yeah,
That's what you're
yeah.
indicating. But yeah, that is the big elephant in the room this
Yeah.
election season. But before we come back to that, if I can take a question to Sky Baba Garu, you have been a vocal critic of AIMIM in the past. But nationally speaking, MIM is a very prominent player. But if you look at in terms of numbers, they're contesting only 9 seats this time as well. In fact, I asked Mr. Owaisi why only 9, because you want to expand your footprint in Rajasthan, Maharashtra, everywhere else. Why not contest more seats? I'm not going to get into what he said, but I want to understand from you, why do you think they do that?
एक चीज मैं स्पेसिफिकली जानना चाहती थी, जैसे डेवलपमेंट तो बहुत ब्रॉड हो गया, लेकिन अगर मुस्लिम समाज की शिकायतों में जो बड़ी चीजें हैं कि ये काम हम चाहते हैं हो और ये नहीं हो रहा है, उसके बारे में आप कुछ बता सकते हैं ऑडियंस को?
तो मुस्लिम से जो सचार कमेटी रिपोर्ट आया है उसमें मुस्लिम्स के हालात बहुत पीछे है, थोड़े जगह जो दलित से भी पीछे है मुसलमान, बोल के पूरा देश जानता है आज। तो उसमें जो मेन है सचार कमेटी रिपोर्ट के सिफारिश है, रिकमेंडेशंस, और उसको लेके 2 बार भी KCR ये सचार कमेटी के सिफारिश को मैं अमल करूँगा ओके बोले, और 12% रिजर्वेशन देते बोले, और जो वक्फ लैंड्स है तेलंगाना में बहुत ज़्यादा है, उसके लिए जुडिशियल पावर देते बोले, वो पूरे जो कब्जे में है वो पूरे भी पीछे लाते बोले, कोर्ट में है उस पर भी लड़ते बोले, मगर ये पूरा कुछ भी नहीं करे। वक्फ लैंड के बारे में ये BRS के लोग ही पूरे जो तेलंगाना में अब लैंड्स है वो कब्जे में ये लोग कर ले रहे हैं, इस बारे में कुछ भी आवाज़ MIM ने उठाने के वास्ते रेडी नहीं है।
When it comes to MIM, you know, if you go to Old City, you will understand what exactly how MIM is playing out. Old City has been, you know, in the backward state for a long time. No proper education and low proper employment. Those are the 2 biggest issues in minorities. But MIM hasn't done anything proactively to, you know, work on that. Never ever. And all those Muslim intellectuals or Muslim activists who are working with Muslim communities, they are against MIM. You know what? Because our MIM is aggressive. It's other way around.
Okay.
Because they are trying to educate Muslim women mostly and Muslim youth, which MIM doesn't want. They want followers. And MIM having that kind of support with the community, they could have done so much in the community, but they didn't. They never chose to do it. You know, they're just playing politics. That is very, you know, tragedy.
Very interesting point
Yeah.
that you put across.
Absolutely. We'll dwell more on that. So, but I want to ask you about education. That's one of the areas that you studied. In terms of education, be it spending, expenditure, or in terms of the number of people hired by the government, jobs created, on both these parameters, Telangana has not been faring well. But the state government, in fact, we asked Mr. KTR this in our interview, why is the budget, the education budget coming down year after BRS has come to power? He says that it's because you're not looking at it holistically. If you look at the Minority Affairs Department, SC/ST Welfare Department, there are allocations made in both of these departments, which will also be spent on education. I want to understand what is your assessment of this statement.
No, actually, in 2014, they have allotted around 11% of the budget to education. Actually, before that, where the Simandra people who ruled, they have allotted sometimes 13%, 14%, even they went up to 17%. But after we got Telangana, they started with 11 point something, and I think this year it is something around 6.5%. So almost every year they are reducing 1% to education. Now about the social welfare and tribal welfare, even there is also, if you also add that, it will not come to just 2% more. So 6.5 plus 2, 8.5. So how that is more than the your enemies of that Simandra government, and your own starting point of 11 point. So somewhere they, and the other point is that when you say these welfare kind of institutions, the point is there also there is no quality education. They have allotted some money, but if you go there, how much they are able to give education? Just 5% of the total students. 95% of, you can say, even SC, ST, BC, because government schools nowadays, the composition is almost from the lower, so-called lower communities. So 95% are there, and you are not spending anything there. And here you are spending something, but here also one point is 5% only they are feeding. Another is, if you see the basic facilities there, I have gone to some of the so-called Gurukulas. So their basic necessities are not there. And I visited one in Mananur in Mahabubnagar district. Since there are no facilities inside, they went outside. There are no toilets and other things. And one student died of snake bite. Even now, I think around 10,000 posts are vacant in these all social welfare institutions, residential institutions.
So on education, you wouldn't rate this government's
It's a
work
failure, complete failure.
complete failure.
Yes. So,
But why do you think they're not focusing? Because even the literacy rates are very low.
yeah.
This PG to KG big
Yes.
scheme that he announced, he backtracked. There was one school established under that scheme, if I understand correctly. Why
Yeah.
is there no focus on education?
No, actually, in the Telangana movement for statehood, it has come from the people that there must be a common school system and KG to PG free education. So he just agreed because there is a movement, and but once they said that our party, they openly declared, now our party is not party of the movement. It is a, what they said, faktu political party, means basically for power by hook or crook. And basically they have no interest in education at all. And not only there is a negligence, there is some kind of a, what we call
Dislike, disdain.
it's like a hatred towards education, and particularly educating the downtrodden masses.
Because then it's
So,
difficult to.
so they have
rule.
no interest in education, and because of I should not claim that, but because of some of us, our own Telangana Save Education Committee, we have went around, and a big yatra we have conducted. After that, this fellow has a knack of, if there is a public opinion, he'll agree. Then after one
And by
month, he
this
will
fellow,
forget. He'll
you
forget.
mean the chief minister?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
just to be clear.
And he is the government.
I am
So-
the ruler.
So,
So,
actually, yeah.
so just
You can
one
complete your
point,
point.
and so first term we have made some noise and we kept quiet, thinking that in second term he will do something. But in second term, when he did not do anything, and some of us, we went and actually stayed in schools where there are no facilities. We slept on the ground. So in 10 districts. So somehow it became a big noise in the media, social media. He started something called Manavuru Manabadi. And that he started, and he said, I allot some 7,298 crores, but he didn't spend, and they didn't include in the budget. Just announced, and in the second year, they said they will do it, but after some time, they issued circular to all collectors. We are not going to improve all the schools, just 2 schools per district you make, so that we can show, not that that is in circular, but around 2 schools they have made it. And that money also, if you remember, during the COVID, there is no maintenance because they are closed. That maintenance money he collected back and put into this Manavuru Manabadi, and said that I have allotted this much money. So there is a complete.
So one of the important points I want to touch on, like when we opened up, you said that defiance is the character of the state and its people, but it's being suppressed. And I want to just quickly come to Pooja to give our audience an understanding, because in Delhi, we we talk about what Yogi Adityanath has done, we talk about Modi, we talk about, we don't focus much on what's been happening here in terms of crushing of dissent.
Yeah.
So just give us a sense of what's been happening in the state when it comes to opposition, media and dissenters.
So a lot of people who have now allied with the Congress, a lot of organizations, essentially because over the last few years, they have not had a space to protest. I'll give you 3 quick examples. When a political party, a political leader, even if it's the president of the opposition party, plans to hold a protest against KCR or his party, his government, they're put under house arrest.
Okay.
This is so much of a norm. So when some of us from outside come here to report, and we were startled that it happens so often. That's number one. Number two, in fact, in an interview to the News Minute, we spoke to a few activists, and they said Dharna Chowk, which was one of the epicenters of the Telangana movement, there were no protests allowed there. The state government said you can't protest there.
So is there a rule now that you cannot protest at Dharna Chowk?
Yeah, one of them had to, Professor Venkateshwara had to, Vishweshwara, he went to the High Court and then he had to file a petition, and then now it is allowed. The third thing is using of the state intelligence to crack down on dissent, right? They use police, and there are rampant allegations of how conversations are leaked and then they clamp immediately. I'm sure you can elaborate on the different ways in which they have clamped down on dissent.
Yeah, okay. Before that, I want to add one more point to what Professor Laxminarayana said. Telangana has been backward in education for so long, despite having Hyderabad, which has a lot of education institutions. We are always backward. When the first state was happened, we were less than 2% literates, Telangana. Even when New Telangana formed in 2014, we were in 26th place in the country, out of 30. So, in the last 5 years, I think latest, I don't know if you have seen these, Global Data Lab and Niti Aayog, they have come up with the data.
Niti Aayog, Telangana is 3 right now. Telangana is in the 3rd position in Niti Aayog.
No. I'm talking about social indicators, not in academic indicators. See, that is the issue here. There are economic indicators, there are social indicators. But in the country, in Telangana, both are not matching. Economic indicators are not, giving best social indicators. The Telangana is another best example. Okay, now you know what place we are in. Especially when it comes to women education, we were 26th place in 30 states in 2015. Now we are in the 30th place. There is no more place to go down. We are the last ones. And when it comes to child marriage, women child marriage, Telangana is known for it for so long. Domestic violence and child marriage. When it comes to gender Telangana, justified Telangana, we are very bad, always. And now we have gone down. Again, that is also, from which place to which place. Yeah, 21 to 23rd. So, that in those indicators, we have gone down, despite all the talk of development. We keep getting these, awards and numbers. Telangana is in the 3rd place, 5th place. But when it comes to social indicators, we are in none of the indicators, we are above 15. Highest we gone is 17, and most of them are 20 plus indicators. I mean, 23, 26, 28, 29, and 30. We are at these places. That shows how Telangana is developed. That is one thing. Yeah.
Dissent.
Dissent.
State of dissent.
State of dissent. I can talk about media, right? Because, media is a vehicle to channelize the dissent.
To question those in power.
But once, media was part of Telangana movement. Either against or either, for. Media was divided when Telangana movement was, happening. People working in media organizations were divided. Journalists were part of the Telangana movement. But the moment Telangana formed, the first people to put away were, not in the jail or somewhere else, media.
As in sideline them.
Sideline them. And first, they did not allow them to, go into assembly, so many restrictions, and secretariat. And now, do you know, I think your Pooja knows, right? And your reporters also knows. In new secretariat, press doesn't have a place. They put them completely outside. So that means he doesn't want press. And the chief minister doesn't allow media to question. even if somebody questions, he'll name them and scold. It's not scold. Media he doesn't scold, but he ridicules them. All that he does continuously.
He called us dogs once
Yeah.
for asking a question.
Questions. Yeah. So basically, yeah, that's where defense. Telangana is known for defense, asking questions. But he doesn't allow any questions. This party, I can't say this party because this party is one person and that's it. So the other people, I don't think they have any say, but they don't allow any question. And there are intellectuals who took big role in Telangana movement. He divided them. He put some of them in his pocket and others completely, shut
So
them
complete hold on the narrative is very
Yeah,
important
yeah,
to
yeah.
the government. Sky जी आप बताइए क्या डिसेंट प्रोटेस्ट इसका क्या हाल है और हमारे ऑडियंस को प्लीज ये भी बता दीजिए कि आपका नाम स्काई क्यों है क्योंकि लोग सोच रहे होंगे
मेरा नाम शेख यूसुफ बाबा है। शेख में से एस के स्कूल में लिखते थे, एस के वाई बाबा स्काई बाबा हो गया।
तो ये आपके फ्रेंड्स दोस्तों ने दिया या आपने खुद डिसाइड करा कि कूल लग रहे हैं?
कैसा हुआ कि याद नहीं है।
ये जिस स्टेट ऑफ डिसेंट तेलंगाना में अगर धरना करना हो, प्रोटेस्ट करना हो, कितना फ्रीडम ऑफ स्पीच, फ्रीडम ऑफ एक्सप्रेशन है?
तो वो बोलने के लिए तो लोग दोनों है।
हाँ।
मुस्लिम्स के बारे में मैं बोलूँगा।
हाँ।
यहाँ पर ये जो है ये डिक्टेटर है। KCR जो है डिक्टेटर है। उन्होंने क्या समझते वही करते, जो पब्लिक पूछते वो नहीं करते, उन्होंने उनका एनालिसिस लेके उनका नहीं करते। वहाँ पर बहुत नाराज़ है पब्लिक, जो नहीं पूछे वो करते, पूछने के जो चीज़ें है वो नहीं कर रहे हैं।
Sir, how do you rate how this government has come down on dissenters? You are one of them.
Before that, about this, whatever surveys that are done on education, including this performance index.
కొంచెం గట్టిగా మాట్లాడండి.
So that also, except Meghalaya, this is the state last. So that is anyway, that is a established thing. About dissent, actually, of course, apart from that Dharna Chowk, actually to open that Dharna Chowk, there is almost 1 month agitation by civil society kind of and people's organizations. And he will not give appointment to anybody. And one best, actually he has built, everybody knows, Pragati Bhavan. Actually it is not a Pragati Bhavan, it is a Gadi, Dorala Gadi, in Telangana we have Dora Gadi. So you must have remembered the legendary singer, Gaddar. He wants to give a memorandum to him. He was not allowed inside. Actually, his song is one of the greatest inspiration for Telangana movement. He just neglected him. And what he will do, nobody knows inside.
KCR, you're saying neglected Gaddar? Wow, because he's an icon.
He didn't allow him to come
he
into
waited in front of his gate for almost a day and he was never called in. And
some 2-3 hours he waited at the gate
and
so
then,
that he will call. So that is the way. And I am not fan of a Congress, because Congress also did all the things. But at least those chief ministers, they used to have what is called Darbar. Some
Praja
Praja
Darbar.
Darbar or
So you
something
could be
like
part
that.
of the Darbar at least.
Yes, so people used to come.
Give petitions to see
Whether
him.
they do it or not, they used to take these whatever memorandums you have, speak like that. But after he has come, he has closed everything, and with around 70 to 80 police people will protect that gate so that nobody can enter. And inside, people say he will not think about anything about people's problem. He will only think how to buy that MLA from that party, how to buy this singer. There are many singers are sold, many intellectuals are sold. How to bring intellectuals and close their mouth. This is the only thing he will do. So, and if any dissent, you put them in jail. Ban organizations, 17 organizations were banned
17 organizations from the state
from the state.
been banned by the state government.
Yes.
Wow.
BJP.
I'm going to
Interesting you
quickly
mentioned police. If I can quickly plug one of our, I would say, best stories in this election season. My colleague Janvi is here and she wrote a very interesting piece on how jobs, and she looked at the data and spoke about how police is the only department where maximum recruitment has happened. Also in the private sector, the most of the jobs have been created only in Hyderabad. So that uniform development that we were speaking about earlier has clearly not happened. I'd urge our viewers to go and read that detailed piece on our website. But you were also talking about how it's all concentrated in Hyderabad. Police is one department where most of the public sector recruitment have taken place.
Wow. So we're going to quickly wrap this and we'll go to the audience. But I think just one last word to you. You were saying ki, when in the middle, when we were taking a break, that don't think BJP is out of this election. So if you can just elaborate a little bit of that and then we'll go to our audience.
Yeah, actually, I've been going around in Telangana state to find out what the mood and all. I'm not doing vox populi. I'm just going and sitting with all those, people who are actually designing these elections and, managing. I actually spoke most of those people. Yes, it is not a two-way fight. It is a triangle fight, definitely in most of the places. And it is obvious that when there is incumbency issue, these two are going to share. That is the reason BJP is going to be there in every constituency. So, all the anti-incumbency is being shared by BJP and Congress. So, in that way, BJP is going to decide who is going to win. And in some of the constituencies, they're very carefully doing. I spoke to people who are doing actually. They're very carefully planning. If they think Congress is going to win, they want to sabotage their own candidate and make BRS win. So that is a strategy in some of the places. What I heard is at least in 10 places. In 10 is big number out of in 10 places BJP has taken responsibility of winning BRS candidates.
So they prefer a BRS than let a Congress come.
Of course, yeah, because of Lok Sabha elections, they do not want another Congress state. So
also my enemy's enemy is my friend logic being applied.
That is one thing. And when it comes to unemployment, I really quickly want to add one number. Most of us know Telangana is about 3 issues, Neelu, Nidulu, Niyamakalu, water, funds and employment. These are the key issues in Telangana. When Telangana movement was happening, Jaishankar is Professor Jaishankar, he was the ideologue of the Telangana. He went on saying we have 2.5 lakh jobs pending, vacant. Vittal was saying 3 lakhs. But when the Telangana government formed, CM KCR announced in the assembly, in the first assembly, that they have only 1 lakh something. It's not 2 lakhs or something, it's only 1 lakh plus. And he said he is going to, this government is going to fulfill all those vacancies in the 1 year. But if you go and check TSPSC, I'm not talking about any data. I'm talking about TSPSC data. Till 2018, they gave only 36,000 jobs. See, 1,17,000 plus another 60-70,000 people retired and new districts were formed. That means we should have at least 2.5 lakh jobs. But the Telangana TSPSC gave appointments only to 36,000. That means 10%. Of what is available. I'm not saying, they're not from the air. What is available? That is the reason unemployed people are very, very angry. And people, I made a documentary on student movement while movement is going on. Some people I interviewed then are still unemployed. And very unfortunate thing is that they were never given a real chance. Whether they get a, KTR keeps on saying, how can we give jobs to everyone? No, you cannot. But you should give them a chance to test themselves. No exams, all exams are cancelled. The Telangana government has a record of cancelling exams 18 times. Not once or twice.
Manisha was mentioning earlier how this is a big issue.
Yeah,
And
see,
leakages,
so they were never given a chance. All those boys and girls in 20s, now in their 30s, still no job. Because they are still expecting notification will come, we will write, we will get chance. Because we waited 7 years, we waited 8 years, maybe we should wait 2 more years. Because government job is a big thing in rural Telangana. Because that changes their social...
Anywhere, I think across rural India.
Yeah, rural India.
It has its charm.
Yeah.
Great. So we'll go to the audience now. So if anyone has any questions or comments, Please, but keep it brief because we want to take at least 5.
This is Mahesh. I am currently pursuing masters from Nalsar College. So the one question I have is ki, when we study about the Telangana movement, we are really fascinated about the participation of intellectuals, writers and everyone, and they actually contributed and empowered the Telangana society. But when you currently look at the political representation of OBCs, either in the cabinet or when you look at the people, that is not happening. So where do you think there is a gap? Even when we have caste associations which are empowered, they're powerful, but they don't have the actual political power, and this does not translate into the economic empowerment of the backward communities.
So what is wrong with, I mean, what he's basically asking is that OBC participation in politics, why is it lacking in Telangana? And power being accorded to OBC sections.
Yeah, I think that's going to change this election. I think from the next election onwards, that is one more thing I saw in the constituencies. BCs are organizing. The problem is that's very interesting point. Now all these communities are empowered comparatively earlier state. But is that empowerment? Is that segregation? That is the question. Now after Telangana, see, Andhra Pradesh in the erstwhile Andhra Pradesh, Andhra is always known for caste politics. Telangana is not. But now Telangana society is divided in caste lines so much. If you go to constituencies, people are saying, what did he do? What did he do to our community? What he did to our Kurma community? What did he do our Mudras community? This is the first time.
But still, the political power remains with.
Yeah,
I mean,
because
OBCs are not
of
getting
that, it has become a segregation. They cannot get united. Now it's like BCs versus SCs. In Telangana, the biggest issue is BCs versus SCs. All these caste killings are happening between these two castes. So that way, by segregating all the castes, these castes, 4%, 5%, less than 10% castes are able to be in the power.
As far as I understand, the BCs in Telangana are not like BCs of North India. They are more economically powerful there, big landed gentry. Whereas here, OBCs, they are not relatively economically powerful, and they became little more powerful because of Naxalite movement. Because the landlords left the villages, and those who are staying there, they are able to get some lands and other things. Why they are not able, that is one reason. Another reason is, I think this may not be agreeable to us, this caste associations. We have to see whether they are consolidating the casteism and benefit of few,
Yeah.
or whether they are going against caste. Because caste has two tendencies, caste association. It can go against caste also, caste annihilation project it can take up. But most of them, they are not doing that. And then in the system, if you have some welfare benefits, few will be accommodated, and they are joining the two dominant parties. Like BRS is what? BRS basically Velmas, and Velmas dominated Reddys, and with the support of OBCs. So similarly, Congress is Reddys basically. So that's why either going to this side or that side. So they will not be able to capture power. But these BJP is trying to accommodate by saying, but they can't do it because they will not be able to accommodate them in the important positions. One fellow was made as a president and he was removed.
Not even tickets. Not even in tickets. Yeah.
Even president was removed recently.
Yeah.
Who belongs to, yes, who belongs to OBC.
But I think, sir, this is going to change. All these caste organizations are now asking, where is our share in the power? I think once, in case BRS goes down, if Congress comes to power, BC politics are going to come in a stronger way, and couple of communities like Yadavs, Gauds and Mudras, these are all becoming very powerful communities in Telangana.
But there's a big gift there.
But I am only saying that they will fall into the trap of that political party, which
right
is not
now,
in the interest of them. Some
true.
representative there.
Yeah, true.
Not an independent BC kind of movement.
But
So
they are
we
not
can
united. All the BCs are not united in Telangana. That is another issue.
Okay, my name is Kiran Donpala. I'm an IT professional. My question is extension of both of your answers. There is a retired IPS person called R.S. Praveen Kumar. He was made president of Bahujan Samaj Party. He is spearheading the Bahujan movement silently into the roots. What is the impact of BSP on consolidating backward classes and scheduled caste, and then coming into the power, and how it will challenge in present elections, especially the BRS and Congress?
See, R.S. Praveen Kumar, who is ex-IPS officer and who was in charge of these SC Gurukula institutes for a long time. He even could make a big Swaros army. With him are around 10,000 students who studied in those schools are with him. That is very fantastic. Actually, when it started, it looks really good. But when it comes to elections, it's completely a different ball game. If you want to come to power, you need at least 60 to 70 strong candidates to win. R.S. Praveen Kumar doesn't have, except himself. There are no other candidates in his party. So even he couldn't even attract the winning candidates into his party. That is one thing. And while they are getting consolidated, BJP played a very interesting game. Like they invited Mandakrishna Madhika to Modi's meeting. R.S. Praveen Kumar influence is more, he belongs to Madhika community. So his stronghold is Madhika community. And I'm telling you, I went and I saw and spoke, wherever there is no BSP, right? BSP presence, people want to rally behind Modi, behind Mandakrishna Madhika. I went to North Telangana, I went to these communities, SC colonies, all Madhika community, what they're saying, this BSP never came to us. It is Mandakrishna Madhika with them all the while. Now he is supporting Modi because we are going to get classification, right? Reservation classification. So in that way, I can't say entire Telangana, but in North Telangana, where there is BJP influence and where there is Mandakrishna Madhika influence, they are not with R.S. Praveen Kumar anymore. So R.S. Praveen Kumar, I don't know whether if he wins that one seat. I don't think he is going to win any more seats and he is going to make any difference in this election.
Maybe some time before that happens. We can take another
But he's
question.
a disruptor for sure.
No, just one point. BSP here, the problem is, you all know that ours basically is a caste society. So when he became leader, other castes are little hesitant, including the other SC caste. So because we interacted with we have Mala Madhika, no? So we went to some Mala community and asked, will you vote for him?
No.
They are saying no.
No, they are not.
And as she said, within the Madhikas, you have 3 divisions. And the problem is all other castes, there is a caste mentality. So that is a party of the SCs.
Yeah.
BCs are also thinking like that.
Yeah.
So there is no question of maybe possible he may win his own seat, but I don't think he will have
Any impact.
more influence on the.
Okay, so we'll take one question
I
there.
think she has the
Oh,
mic.
okay, one here and then.
My name is Abhiri. I'm a final year student. Ma'am, you said that Telangana has been ranked, it has very low ranks in terms of social positioning, right? Can you name any 3 social indicators that expose the low social positioning? And why do you think that is the case? Because it is formed so recently. I think we should be working on our social positioning, but contrary to that opinion, we are ranked so low, right? So why do you think it is like that? And what are those social indicators? Any 3 I'd like to know.
So I told you that, we are really low in social indicators. You wanted me to name 3 social indicators, but I can name 3, not more than 3. One is women education. I told you, women who are beyond 6 years went to school even for 1 year. In that indicator, we are 30th place. That is the last place. Out of 30, we are 30th. And child marriages, we were 21, now 23. And infant mortality rate, despite Kalyan Lakshmi, we are here. Despite this NTR kit with the hospitals,
KCR
health kit, no, KCR kit.
Oh, he's called
Yeah.
a kid also KCR.
Yeah. Infant mortality rate also, from 10 to we went 5 points down, 15. So if you want, I can tell you more. But Yeah, this is how it is happening. So because whatever they are saying, see, when it comes to economic indicators, that's a very tricky thing. Economic indicators are about the money that is being circulated. It doesn't mean that is coming to people, right? Say GDPs are calculated like Mega Krishna Reddy income, KCR income, my income, your income, and the beggar income. These are all pooled and divided. So that means there is money. Economically, there is so much growth, but that is only in the upper level. It's not percolating down. So if the money doesn't percolate down, the development also doesn't percolate down, right? So that is how it's happening, I think.
And I think also one important thing is for governments to focus on institutional structures that will improve people's life, rather than just giving, some, whatever you may call them, they're called raveries or freebies or whatever. But
Or
there has
welfare
to be
schemes,
or
as we
welfare
prefer
schemes,
calling
yeah.
it.
But the focus can't be just that. I think there has to be focus on institutional structures also, education, hospitals, primary healthcare. What are you doing to fundamentally change that?
This government has started a new policy that if you do not have enough students, they will close down the schools. I think they have closed down hundreds of schools in Telangana.
6,000.
Yeah.
See, 6,000, not hundreds.
schools were
See,
closed.
they closed down 6,000 schools. While children, that is, see, if school is closed down, the first person being affected is a girl. If there was no school in our village, I could never go to a school, right? My mother, my grandmother couldn't go to school because there was no school. Because there was school, I went to the school. So now those schools are being closed down. That means parents will send their boys to some other place
Far
to
away
educate,
place.
far away. But they won't send their girls. That means that will affect girls' education. That is the reason we are in the
And
last
yeah, like
place.
cash incentives are important in a country like India, but I think it can't just stop at that. And I think most political parties, not just BRS, they keep tom-tomming their cash incentives, their direct benefits.
Yeah.
But then where is that institutional outlay for key infrastructures? Okay, we just are running out of time now, so we'll take one last question and then we'll wrap it up.
My name is G. Chennaya. I am preparing for public service examinations. We divided our state, bifurcated our state in 2014. From there onwards, there is a crisis in Telangana, especially in unemployment. The success of the democracy depends on how opposition is working. But in Telangana, because of TINA factor only, we are thinking about to cast our vote to present opposition parties. These opposition parties, they didn't take the people's agenda when they are in opposition. They simply working on their own agenda. They didn't do much on employment. They didn't do much on education, especially the sir pointed out the single teacher schools closed in Telangana, more than 6,000. They didn't fight for those schools to be open. So how they are going to consolidate these votes? Because of there is a people shift towards opposition without TINA factor, or the anti-incumbency, there need to be, it should be depends on the person who is going to give a confidence to the voters.
So I think good way to look at this is that we've all talked about all the problems with BRS, but the opposition here, have they raised these issues and are they a good, credible alternative for people to go? Yeah, those who are choosing opposition is like, okay, there's no one else, so let's just vote for them.
No, there can be a negative voting. If somebody is bad, actually there is a feeling 10 years are over, even if they have done something, even those people also. So when they are moving, basically not that they will do unemployment and other kind of things, but some alternative. As somebody told, you have a big thief and a small thief. So let us select him. That kind of thing is there. Of course, we also met the manifesto committee of Congress with the education agenda. We insisted, they agreed. We don't know what they will do. 15% at least. That is the national average for education. So because of people's pressure, they may do something. Recently, they also announced some job calendar kind of thing. So we have to build pressure from below. On their own, I don't think they will. So it is not an alternative for the people. Since you are dissatisfied with somebody who is very bad, you are going to some bad. I think that is the what may happen.
How has the opposition been in Telangana in raising these issues that you've been raising?
No, it's always the intellectuals and activists, social activists. Opposition party was never in the forefront of taking up issues. You know, if we are talking about education and employment, these are all the issues put forward by the activists. Though that is a small number, opposition hasn't done much for two reasons. First time they won some 20 seats. BRS bought all of them. Again in the second round they bought some seats. Again they bought, it's like killing them completely. See, that is one reason BJP also rose here, because they tried to kill Congress completely, but you can never have that vacuum. So BJP had come up in that vacuum. So in that way, neither BJP nor Congress, they were not really forerunners of people's problems. No, they never did that. It's always, scolding each other with filthy language all the time. That is one culture that was started with separate statehood. I don't know how much you are aware. Here, political leaders scold each other in such a bitter and filthy language. People think that is Telangana
Very personal
culture,
and nasty.
very nasty. So that is Telangana culture. That is started by KCR, of course. Now everyone is following. So in last 10 years, the entire discourse is, personal remarks, never issues of the people.
So
No,
people are left behind because
Yeah.
even the opposition is not taking up
not
their
taking up.
issues.
Now, if
Right.
people want a change, because as you said, it's 10 years. There is an interesting thing when I went to constituency. One farmer said he's from BRS. He's actually from BRS. He says, BRS did good, but we cannot keep the same crop for so many years. No, we need to change the crop. I don't know, Telangana is going
Crop rotation.
crop rotation, yeah. So that's all. It's not that crop is going to yield so much. No, they just want to change the crop.
Also a bit of fatigue, I suppose, in
Yeah.
some voters.
So if Telangana changes its government or not, we'll know when the results are out. The main focus of this discussion was to tell you guys what are the problems that these state is facing, whether it's unemployment, it's crackdown on dissent or education, the big question of the Muslim voter. So I hope that was insightful for you. I certainly learned quite a bit. Thank you so much for watching this show. And Pooja, I'd let you end the show with a little glimpse of what you guys have been working on Telangana from News Minute. Definitely check out their website, check out their YouTube playlist. They've done some fabulous work. But just tell us maybe 2 stories that are very important. And then we'll
I
wrap up.
already plucked one story, the
Great.
data story, Janvi did. But another story I think you should absolutely read, and also you get to watch that, is done by Bala, my colleague who's here. Bala spoke to Sitaka, who's a Congress candidate. And she is somebody she was an armed revolutionary. Now she's given up arms. She's a 2-time MLA. Bala spent time with her, followed a campaign, did a video interview as well. So I'd urge you to watch that. And the last story is a ground report that my colleagues did of Kaleshwaram. We've seen all political parties talk about it. BRS says it's the greatest thing that they've done and the opposition parties attacking it. But what about the people who are impacted by it? Has it helped people? There was fear that there could be floods because of that. All of that, my colleagues have traveled to districts, the catchment area, and go to our website, check out our work on Telangana elections.
Great. Thank you so much. And don't forget to support our election fund, newslaundry.com/election fund. This show has been completely ad-free, no ads from the government, no ads from corporations, so no TRS ads, no BRS ads, no Congress ads, no BJP ads. It's completely powered by people. So if you've liked what we've done, definitely check out newslaundry.com/election fund. Choose an amount that's convenient for you and support our election show. Thank you so much for watching us this election season. We'll be back on December 3rd with live election results. So stay tuned for that. Newslaundry and
The News Minute.
will be hitting ground zero together, where our team of reporters and producers will bring you authentic and nuanced election coverage.
So contribute now.
Log on to newslaundry.com/election fund and help us make election coverage great again.
Because we are stronger together.